Hello everyone and welcome to Danvers Daily. I'm Jack Sapino, the Public Access Coordinator here. And today on the show we have a special guest. I'm in the set right now. I'm so excited. We have Ginny Ahearn. You may know her from behind the desk, but now she's in front of the desk and in front of you to talk about a novel idea. Welcome, Ginny.
Welcome. Thank you.
I'm so excited to really talk about this idea of a novel idea, play on words. But how did it come about? How did you think about this, and what was the process that it took to create something like this?
Well, I had previously produced another show. It was called Books on Tour, Off the Shelf, and I loved doing it. I did it for like 10 or 12 years, and unfortunately, the host, Veronica Andrews, she passed away last year. I retired the show just in respect of her legacy, but I enjoyed doing some kind of production at DCAT. So, and I like the premise of talking to an author. So I had, I changed the set a little bit, I changed the name, I created new graphics, and I got a new host, Noelle Bach. She is the director at the library in Danvers. And she did fantastic. We had a first episode this morning, and it was a really great show. So I'm really excited because I like to do the show itself, but also the post-production, the editing, and the promotion. Everything goes into it. So basically the premise came with my previous experience with Off the Shelf, and I just brought it along with now with a novel idea.
So let's go back in time a little bit. When you thought about your passion for books, did you ever come up with the idea of interviewing authors? Was that ever just a thought in your mind that you wanted to just bring in the author of the book? Because that is so interesting to share their own story about their own book.
Right. Well, originally the show was produced 14 years ago, and it was created by Dana Healy. She was previously here, the executive director, but when she first came in, fresh out of college, she had that idea. And so then for many years I helped out, and then when she left, I became, I took over completely as the executive producer. So I love the idea of talking with authors because I love to read. But originally, like I said, I had taken over the show. So that's where the idea came from.
Right, and so what would be your favorite type of genre that you like to read, or that, the show is about? Is it all different types of genre, or is it one specific genre that you want to kind of put out there?
Well, personally, I like thrillers, I like biographies, science fiction. When I look for an author, of course I want something that it would interest me, that I think would interest the viewers. Mm-hmm. But also, what I found, because it is syndicated nationwide, the most interesting ones, it's nonfiction that really grabs people, and I get the most attention from those. But like I said, I could read anything and any genre, but those are the ones I really like. But when I pick the authors, I'm not looking so much for the genre. I'm looking like, hey, that's interesting. The concept is great. Let me ask that author if he wants to come in.
And how does that process work? You talk about having these authors come in. How does the behind the scenes of that process work, where you bring in these authors? How do you look for them, and how do you bring them onto your show specifically?
My greatest resource is going to the Harvard Coop, Barnes & Noble. They always have authors who are on tour, and they're speaking about their books, so they're ripe for the picking because they want to come on a show, especially a television show, and talk about it because it's great publicity. So that's mostly where I get them. Sometimes it's word of mouth. As the show has developed, I get calls from agents or publicists, and also return authors come back. So there's a lot of different resources, but the main one is going to where the authors are speaking.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's an unbelievable story, because you're bringing in to share a story of someone else's life, or their favorite book, or anything like that. And it's really cool to see the behind the scenes of how an author thinks in terms of what to say, how to write it, and then also, how the audience views it, which is very important. Can I talk a little bit about this set we have here? Maybe we can go to a different shot. What was the idea of bringing, some of these items into a set? We have, what do you call this? I don't even know what to call this.
They're lanterns.
Lanterns,
yes.
Exactly. So what was the idea of bringing in lanterns in the bookshelf and kind of creating that idea of your set and maybe that book feeling of just sitting down with an author?
My main thing is I wanted a set that people would feel comfortable to sit in and to watch. So it was like I wanted, okay, two people sitting down in their living room, hey, let's talk about the book. Because a lot of times some authors are very comfortable on air and other ones are very nervous. And so I like I said, having a comfortable environment, I think, is the most important thing for me. And I think it, the colors and the graphics and the lanterns and all this brings that to the forefront.
Right. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the graphics that behind the scenes of editing a show and what you do maybe differently than other shows, because a lot of the shows when we do them we have graphics, we have lower thirds, stuff like that. Maybe you can talk about your creative own ideas for the show behind the scenes after it's filmed.
Yeah, I don't have graphics during the show. It's not live. I do a lot of post-production, and I like to have, the graphics are pretty straightforward. The lower thirds. I'm working right now on the opening, and which is, I'm tethering the old show with the new show.
Absolutely.
So it has the same graphics, but all different pictures. And where before it was Veronica, interviewing people and sitting and talking, I have now Noelle's pictures in there, and it's great. Like I said, it's a lot of work. It's an After Effects, which I know you know the product, but it's satisfying because it does look high quality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the ending too. I also have a book. It's like a book opening.
Right.
All the pictures, and then at the end closing. So it kind of fits the theme.
Right. And so you went with someone who knows a ton about books, as Noelle Bach. Works at the library and has been around books and all that. Why was that a decision instead of having an author actually talk with another author?
Well,
just a curious thought.
Yeah, no, that's a great question because I'm looking obviously for somebody who loves books and reads a lot. But I think the most important thing, as far as a show, is having that personality, the exuberance. It comes across. She was very comfortable today talking to an author, and that's really difficult to find in a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people like to read, but not a lot of people can get on a set and just have a conversation and and you can feel the exuberance coming from her. So that was the main reason. When I first met her, I said, I think
feel the passion about loving books.
Yeah, she has a passion. She reads ferociously.
Do you think that you would ever interview her on the show to maybe get more of a background of what she loves for books?
What a great idea! I didn't even think of that.
It would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's something in the future. Who knows? Maybe it'll be an anniversary show or whatever. Because a lot of people, like I said, she has a fascinating life. The books, the graphics that I use are all pictures that shows her hiking. She loves to hike. She loves to travel, and I wanted her come across in those pages, but having an interview, hey, that might be an option in the future.
It would be interesting too, because a lot of people in this digital age have more audio books. They listen through a Kindle or they listen on their phone. Maybe you could have someone that talks about having an audio book and how that's different from just reading a book. That would be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Because there's different perspectives. When you read, it's like you're going to see something like a movie. When you read, you're creating the movie in front of you. So it's very interesting to see the different ideas people have and the different perspective, especially an author who is writing their own book. Right. You don't know what to expect from the reader.
Right. There's so many different options for readers. like I said, I've loved reading since I was little and always read books, but now I've gone into Kindles.
Right.
You know, I really,
Right.
you know, and I haven't done any audiobooks. I don't know, like I said, I probably, you know, as far as a lot of times people do it when they're driving in their car. So I don't have a long commute or anything like that. So, but like I said, there's all these different options now for people. But whatever, I just, you know, I think it's important for people to read.
Absolutely.
You know, like I said, it just opens all these new doors for them.
Right, and you can just learn so much from reading as well. Can I ask you one last question?
Mm-hmm.
When you were younger, what was your favorite children's book?
Favorite children's
Favorite children's book? Because you started reading, you know,
Yeah.
children's books. That's how you started reading. What was your favorite?
It's funny because remember Encyclopedia? You're probably too young.
I don't remember that one.
It was other like the same genre. It's like this was when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
It's like little, you know, young kids being detectives, you know, and you know, finding a problem and then trying to fix it. And that's why this little boy was called Encyclopedia, because he used his brain to figure out life's problems.
Okay.
So.
Well, there you go. And I want to ask you, what is the next step to Novel Idea? What are you looking to bring on? What is the next step? What is the next show? We do have a show that we did today, but what is the goal? What is the goal of this show?
The goal is really, like, when I go looking for an author, I want something that interests me. Okay, I want something to say, that's a great concept, or I didn't know. You know, with biographies, you learn more about the people. I just want people to say, you know what, I learned something after watching that show. You know, and sometimes, like I said, it can be hard to find a good book. And I'm hoping, hey, you know, I'm offering the viewers, why don't you try this book? You know, but whatever it is, I just want people to enjoy listening to the author talking and Noelle talking to them too.
Absolutely. So. And I want to thank you so much for talking about your show. Usually we don't get the behind the scenes of some of these shows, so it's very cool to sit down and learn someone else's perspective and learn about the behind the scenes. So
well, thank you. I feel very comfortable. I think this set made me feel comfortable.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love being on this set. It's very awesome to be in a different set besides behind the desk.
Yeah.
So it's very relaxing, and best of luck with the show. And we want to thank you all so much for tuning in today, and I hope you check out A Novel Idea and check out all the other shows here at DCAT, and we hope you have a wonderful day. See you later, Danvers.